Okay, welcome everyone. So tonight's Nation training is on showing up on social media, and I'm going to be talking about that with you guys. So for those that don't know who I am, my name is Jenna Bolton, and I am an Executive Regional Vice President with Arbonne. And I actually live in Peterborough, Ontario. Also, I wanted to state that we are currently in a lockdown. So building your business with social media is pretty important these days, I would say, because we actually can't go to any stores, and we may have like a curfew coming through in the next whatever I've seen on the news. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff going on. But what I want to talk to you guys about is just showing up on social media in your most authentic way possible, and then just giving you some tips and tricks. I have a slideshow presentation for you guys. So I'm just going to share my screen. Who can I see? Nat, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you see that? Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to dive right into it, you guys, and you guys can take screenshots of the slides if you see information that resonates with you and you want to. I encourage you guys to have a notes section on your phone for all things Arbonne. So if there's going to be disclaimers that I post down below, if you want to take a screenshot of the screen to save it to your notes, I highly recommend that because it's something that you're going to refer to quite often. So without any further ado, I am no expert. First of all, I just want to say this. I really, really love the component of social media with our businesses. It is not, I just want to say this, and I always make sure I say this, it's like a caveat. It is not the sole way of running a Arbonne business, okay? So this is a tool that can help you run your business. Some people aren't comfortable on social media, and that is 100% okay. If you're more comfortable with meeting people one-on-one, right now, we're not really able to go out and do much of that. So you're just going to have to kind of pivot and work your business how it feels really natural and comfortable to you. So what I want to say here is just, these are what you should do on social media. And then I have a slide with what you shouldn't do. And I'm always speaking from a place of love when I'm delivering my messages to you guys. So don't take it harshly, oh my gosh, you just told me what not to do. It's just from experience. And I do have quite a bit of experience when it comes to social media and building relationships. So be yourself. I've said it. I've already said it, but I'll say it 10 times throughout this presentation, that you always have to be yourself. Okay, so don't be looking left, don't be looking right, don't be going, oh, well, Karen, I'm sorry if there's any Karens on this call. I always say that. I'm always well, Karen can just take a seat because I don't want to hear from Karen today. But Karen, who cares what she's doing over there? Do what feels good for you, because when you're in alignment with yourself and delivering that message to your audience, that's what's going to get you into that vibrational frequency of okay, this is good, her content's good. Engagement and interaction with people when you're posting, and I'm going to speak to mainly Instagram as a social media outlet today because that's where it's most prevalent. Lots of people have Facebook too, and that's fine, but I feel Instagram, actually, in fact, Instagram is the #1 social media platform. I did my research. It's #1. So that's what I'm speaking to mostly when I'm talking about all this today. So when you're posting things on Instagram, you want to make sure that you're having interaction and engagement. So you can do polls now if you swipe up on your phone. And for those people that are I don't even know how to do that, ask your upline or ask someone, send me a message afterwards. I can run you through that really quickly. It's pretty simple to navigate, but lots of polls will engage your audience. And then that way too, it builds the algorithm, which is a whole nother basket of things to talk about, but it's all about wanting engagement. So you want to know your audience. You want to know what they're interested in, what they're not interested in, and it keeps them coming back to your page. So people are oh, what polls does she have today? Oh, I get to vote on that. And it's super easy for people to just click a yes or no, or do you know what I mean? So always have engagement. So important. We're not asking you to be on social media all day. You don't need to be oh God, I did this and I did that. And I'm bad because I post a lot on social media, but I'm telling a story, and I do it so I know how to do it so quickly now that it doesn't take very much time for me. So some people might be thinking, wow, she posts a lot, but for me, it really doesn't take very much time. The other thing too is if you're making reels for your Instagram, that's going to get a lot of engagement as well. And it's going to up your algorithm on social media. So people are attracted to those reels. I know some people don't know how to do them, but just honestly take a little bit of time to learn how to do them because they're super fun, one, and they're super engaging. The key is to serving our audience. So when you're posting, like let's say you make a smoothie, okay? Or you make your fizz in one of these like cups, okay? I'm going to take a drink because I need a break. You want to be able to like snap that and post that on Instagram and be like, oh my gosh, these fizz are life. And then send a little clip of like what the fizz actually is. Like, don't just be like fizz is life, or post your smoothie. Cause we all know we're all making smoothies. It's in your blender, you guys. All you have to literally do is take a photo of it in your blender and put it in your story and be like, I'm making a strawberry banana smoothie and here's what's in it. Like, it's so simple. It's so simple. So you don't have to be on it all day long. It's just like capturing little moments. Feel statements are so good to use when you're posting or when you're actually like posting a actual post, not a story, because you want to think compliance when you're on social media, right? So if you say I feel statements instead of like this has, or it has changed my skin, or it has da 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 da, you don't want to be doing that. You want to be doing I feel statements. So just always think about that. Meet the product sheets. These are awesome. They're attached to all of our products. If you don't have the Shop Arbonne app, get it on your phone. And then all you have to do is literally take a screenshot of the description or information. And now Instagram, when you're doing a story, you can swipe up and actually put a picture from your gallery on top of your story. So you can have a description of like I did this the other day for the micellar water. And then it showed, because then you know that you're not saying anything you shouldn't say about a product. It's Arbonne's words and you're just putting it on your story. So so you're going to see some of my stuff throughout this because I'm just like, why not showcase my own stuff? And I, this is the kind of stuff that you want to be doing. So I actually started a big ass salad club. I started 2 clubs this month. It's just for fun. Honestly, you guys, I started a glow up club as well. So I have girls tagging me with their masks, like in any mask they want to wear, and tagging me in like ways that they're creating their glow. So like drinking extra water, drinking their fizz, eating their celery and cucumber, whatever it is. And then I literally just started putting big salads together and hashtagging that and tagging a bunch of people. And then now a whole bunch of people are tagging like with their big salads. So it's something fun, you guys. And it's simple. And I really love it. Like, I'm in my like glory right now. So if this is like you, great. If not, if you're like, oh my God, like I would never be able to do that, that's okay. Okay. This isn't a training for like everybody, but for those that want to learn, it's for you. So these are some of the things not to do. Okay, so don't state untrue facts. And I kind of alluded to this before. So these products have totally cleared my skin. My hormones are regulated now. Do not say things like that. Okay. Not only is it's not true, but it's not compliant. Okay. So we can't post things. I don't know if I have this in here, but we can't post before and afters unless they're from like Arbonne's website where they have their before and afters. Okay. So we can't do things like that. No assumptions. Okay. So we don't want to be saying like, well, I assumed that this was like, just don't assume. And if you have any questions about this stuff, just reach up to your upline and ask. We're always here to look into it for you if we don't know the answer. Don't be a flyer dispatcher. Okay, so we can really get down the rabbit hole of making flyers and be like, oh, I'm going to make a flyer for that. I'm going to make a flyer for that, make a flyer for that. No. Okay, flyers are good if you're like a flyer I made for this nation training, or a flyer for if you have like the regional vice presidents probably do a flyer for their region huddles, or if you want to create a flyer, let's say this is a good example. If you're a new consultant and you are creating a Facebook party and you want to invite people to that Facebook party, which is then going to turn into possibly your VIP page, you could create a little flyer with your picture on it and just say like, I just started my Arbonne journey. I would love, and this is your way of like, you send the flyer to this person that you're wanting into your Facebook group, and you just say, it's a nice visual. And then you just say, would love for you if you could give me like, 15 minutes of your time to listen into what I'm doing, my new venture, whatever you want to say. That's a good example of doing a flyer, but you don't want to be doing flyers like and flyers on Instagram, like posting flyers. No, that's not that's not going to help your business. You want things to be very visually attractive. So just keep that in mind when you're on social media. Don't post your link. So please, like, and if it's there, that's fine, but I would remove it, because your link in your bio that says like shop here, it's not classy. I don't think it's classy. And honestly, I did it when I first started, and no one did it. No one pressed it. No one, I didn't get any sales from it. Okay. So I'm just being really honest with you. Just remove it, because it's not going to really help your business. What helps your business is when you actually build relationships and then you introduce Arbonne to people through that avenue. Your bio should represent you and give new followers an idea of what they might get from your page. So your bio is like that short little description at the top. You don't need to have like Arbonne at the very top. Like, just like if you want to put like your, like, if you want to put that you're associated with Arbonne, that's fine. But you just want it to give an idea of what you're into. So like mine says like, I aspire women to step into their truth and live blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so, and then also on Instagram, there's something called highlight reels like highlights. I don't know if that's exactly the term, but it's when I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's all those little round dots. Whenever you post something to a story, you can actually save it to a highlight. And then that way, when you have new followers come to your page, they can actually check out your highlight reel of all the things that you've posted up to that point. So it gives them sort of an idea of who you are and what you do and all those things. So they're really good to have. Don't recreate an Arbonne only or an Instagram or Facebook account. Okay, so if you already have Instagram and you already have Facebook, don't recreate new accounts for just Arbonne, because you know what's going to happen? No one's going to follow those pages. I'm sorry, this is going to sound really blunt, but it's all it's going to be is just like a box of fizz, a box of digestion, a bag of protein, the sleep well spray, and that's not attractive. Like, people aren't going to want to see all that. And it's not, you want your Instagram or social media account to show your life. So that's what we're doing. We're showing how Arbonne can be a vehicle to creating our best lives, our best selves. And so you have to have the two. You can't have just all Arbonne products on a screen, right? That's not going to be attractive. Okay. And then I said no before and afters, no income. You can't mention anything about income. No timelines on how you promote it. So you can't say like, oh my gosh, like I flew right to the top, like get rich quick overnight. Like, no, that's not true. That's an untrue thing. And it's also not compliant. So I'm not going to touch too much on compliance. There are some things at the bottom that I am going to go through with you guys, but I didn't want this to be like a compliance call. Do you know what I mean? Because that would be a little bit dry. Okay, here's an example, and this is one of my new consultants on my team, and I know she won't mind if I share this, but this is someone that I've been building a relationship with for quite some time, actually, like at least over a year, and I just, this is a 1.1 is that you're not just going to reach out to someone once and then have them be like, oh my gosh, like I'm ready to order all my products, like I'm all set. It takes some time to build relationships with people, and it takes time to grow your Instagram or following. So if you're sitting at like 100 people right now and you're like, okay, well that's lovely. Like I don't have a following. I started with 100 people, okay, like 4 years ago. And I'm not even that, I have 1,400 followers. Like it's not even big. But if we keep doing the consistency part, you will keep building and you will get more followers. So trust me, just stick with it. The consistency is always so important. So this is what she said to me after a long time talking to her, right? So it's just that they're watching. They're all watching. But some people are like quiet, right? And they're not just willing to come out and be like, okay, yeah, like sign me up. So just stick with it. So some of my top tips: be authentically you. There's a theme here, right? Don't post on social media just to post. So if it doesn't feel good for you, maybe social media isn't the right thing. Like, maybe it's not the right outlet for you. So you kind of have to just sit with that and see how that feels for you. But I truly do feel like right now, you guys, social media is very, very prevalent in building an Arbonne business, or not just Arbonne business, but any social marketing business, because we're not able to like grow our businesses like we used to. So we have to pivot, and we have to go with kind of like how the trend is. And the trend right now is social media. So that's important to note. When you, and then like, this is so important too. When you are in alignment with what feels good for you, you will become a magnetic force on social media. So it's kind of funny because a couple people have messaged me in the last little bit and have been like, oh my gosh, your energy is like contagious. You're on fire. Like, I don't know what you're doing. I blame Abraham Hicks. I've been listening to her a lot about being like in alignment with me, and then just like serving my audience. And I, like, you guys, I told myself so many times, like, I think I'm just too much. Like, I probably should just dim myself a little bit. Like, I think people think that I'm too much, but you know what that does? That gets you out of alignment with who you really are. So if you are like a bold, outgoing person, like I am, and you have something to say and you have something to share, if it's coming from a place of love, I say, don't dim that sparkle and be you, because that's what people want to see. So if, like, I don't know if that like helps anyone, but like, please don't dim your sparkle if you feel like you're being too much. You're only too much for people that can't handle you. Be consistent. Consistency is so important, you guys. Like, we hear this all the time in our Arbonne business. It's nothing new. But you can't post once or twice or 3 times or a lot, and then in the next 2 weeks, nothing. Then it's radio silence. Because what's going to happen is Karen's not going to come back to your page. She's going to be like, this is boring. She's not offering me anything. I don't, like, where did she go? And so be consistent, show up. We show up in our business every day. Part of your power hour or your morning routine, whatever you're doing, should be engaging in social media, as far as I'm concerned. Public service announcement. If you, like I said, if you only have 100 followers, I don't care. You can build your following. I talked to Carly Pynchon, and when she first started, didn't have that many followers. And now she has like, I don't know, 40,000, and people build, but it doesn't happen overnight. So you have to stay consistent. It's like growing your business. And collaborating and doing giveaways is also something that I'm starting to do a lot more of. And that's how your following can build as well. So if you have someone that's like, has a local shop and you want to support her local shop and like purchase like a $25 gift card and then offer that as a giveaway on your Facebook or Instagram page, I think that would be like a really good thing to do, because not only that, you're getting into her network, right? So that's how this all works, is that you're getting into newer people's networks. And that's what we want to be doing, because that's going to feed into our 100-person list going forward. If you're going to use pictures like this, make sure that you're getting them from a reputable source. So like the Arbonne digital tool, I was going to say toolbox, toolkit so if you go to the source, there's a digital toolkit in there, and Arbonne has specific pictures that you can just download and then upload to social media. Also, if you're not following Arbonne Canada or Arbonne International Instagram accounts, follow them, because it's an easy share. When Arbonne posts something, you can just share it to your story and be like, so excited for what's to come if there's like a product launch or something like that. So more of my top tips. People are watching. Be here a year from now. Okay, stick with it. Be here a year from now. Even if you don't see your Instagram or like your social media climbing in numbers, keep going, because it's a compound effect, right? Don't compare. Just keep doing what you do and be authentic. When people think of you, you want people to think, okay, so when people, like when someone says like, oh, like Megan Fleming, she has a really successful like Arbonne business. You want people to associate you with Arbonne, okay? And not like that, like annoying person, but like you, and that just represents that you've stuck with your business and you are proud of your business and you're confident and you're consistent. So I think that's a really an honor, actually. If you have like running out of ideas of things to post about, go to Pinterest and search blog posts, monthly blog posts. And I know we're not bloggers, but like it gives you an idea of content that you can create. And it's like, they're super easy stuff. And I know some of the stuff people post, you're like, oh my God, like there's way too many filters and like, what are they doing? That's okay, guys. You don't need to have like 1,000 filters on something to make like your social media look nice. Rule of thumb, post once a day and at least 3 stories is what I say. If you're just starting out, like 1 post a week, that's okay. And then you can ease into it. Always think too, with our compliance rules, we do have some new compliance rules. Well, not new, but like they're about like almost a year now, is that they're protecting us. Okay. So I know when we first heard of all the compliance stuff that we had to follow, it was like, oh my gosh, so we can't do that anymore. We can't do, but it's protecting us because there are a lot of people out there, you guys, that are phishing, that are trying to like snag people for doing things incompliantly. Like, and so you just want to make sure that you have your ass covered. Okay. So Reels, like I said before, Reels and IGTVs are really good for algorithms. So if you haven't done an IGTV, they're super easy to do, you guys. And sometimes they're better because then they don't break up like in a story. And it's just better for your audience. Do it afraid. The first time I did a live, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I say something wrong? It's actually okay if you say something wrong, or if you stutter, if you like, whatever you do, it shows your audience that you're really like real. So these are just a couple of my recent posts. I told you I did the Salad Club, and I also did the Glow Up Challenge. So these were the masks that I just posted, and see, it's just a simple picture. I just laid them on this little thing and like took a picture. So we want to showcase our products, but in like a non-salesy way. Like, don't be like, you know, I don't know, DM me. Sometimes I say DM me if you are interested in purchasing, but you don't want to just be like, here's my shop link or whatever, you know. You just want to be really like, because people are attracted to like, oh, her makeup looks really good, and like, what palette's that? Okay, da 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 da. So that's how you want to showcase our products. Okay, sorry. Okay, this is a good one. I actually listened to a few other social media trainings before I put this together. And I heard this and I was like, oh, I love that. So it's the 3 C's. So when you're posting to your social media, I want you to say these three things out loud and like make sure that you're in alignment with them. So credibility, are you credible? Character, are you sticking with your character? And connection, are you connecting with your audience? Because if you're not serving and connecting with your audience, then your posts are kind of just like, or your like your information that you're giving is kind of like, you're not really guiding your audience in any real direction, right? So for me, I actually just started to speak to my audience on social media about some things that it's super vulnerable, and it's really hard for me to open up about, but I'm actually having a lot of success and a lot of really good feedback. I have started just talking about my past relationships and how I've grown, and like the person I was to the person I am now. And part of that has something to do with Arbonne too, because there's a lot of personal growth that has gone on to get me through all those like rough like patches in my life. So I've started to talk to people about that, and people are like, oh my God, like this is amazing. Some people are like, you should do a podcast. I don't know about that, but like, that's the kind of thing that you want to like, you really want to just sit with like, okay, what am I really good at? What do I love? And then lead with that. If that makes sense. Okay. So I love to like decorate, and I love hosting. So I love hosting things. Like if there's like the Super Bowl party, I'm hosting one. If there's like Thanksgiving, I want to host it. I want to host everyone. Like I want to make drinks, and I want to like get my dinnerware out, and that's me. So post that on Instagram. Like post your life so people can get to know who you are. So show your life, show what your style is. You're basically telling a story. You're allowing people to get to know you. People do business with people they like and trust. Right? You can search hashtags of things that you're into. So if you love to garden, or you love working out, or baking, whatever, if you like to cook, I don't love cooking, but whatever's up, like whatever you like, right? If you're into sports, like hashtag some sports stuff. And then that way, when you're following people and you're building relationships, you actually have like a connection that you can make with someone. You can be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you were like such a huge Buffalo Bills fan, like, or whatever it is, right? Like you just want to like build those kind of connections. And then in Arbonne, you guys, this is the beautiful thing about Arbonne, is that we get to choose who we do this freaking business with. So like so I do 10 new follows a day, and I comment and like on those people's profiles. There's the beginning of my building relationships. And I'm not doing it, you guys, to just be like, oh, well, I got to follow 10 new people because, you know, I got to build this damn business. I want to meet new people. I want to share this gift that we have. And I want to learn about other people and where they're from and what they like and all those things. And then what I do is I do 3 asks. When I say asks, I don't even like the word asks. I reach out and like offer this business opportunity to someone, three people a day, and then 10 new follows. So then that way my business is constantly growing. My Instagram's growing, and it's like a cyclic, whatever thing. Okay. Accounts to follow. So these are just some like really awesome accounts that I follow. Don't get trapped in the comparison and scrolling trap. Okay. Like this is just for inspo. So you can take a screenshot of this. That's probably what I would do. And then you can go follow those people. So I'll leave it up for a couple seconds so you can do that. And some of these people are from Canada. Okay. Giving a shout out to our Canada people. And then there's some people from the UK, from the United States. So there's kind of a mixture here. All right. And you guys can screenshot this after because it's going to be recorded. So this is something that was going around on social media. I don't know who made it up, but anyways, and it was like a hesitation. You know, you don't have to have a huge Instagram following. So Instagram is a tool, like I already said, for sharing your business. But it doesn't have to be the only thing you do to work your business. So just please keep that in mind, okay? Okay, some verbiage, because I know this is super, like this is where a lot of people get caught up. They're like, well, I just don't know what to say, so I'm just not gonna do my asks. Voice memos, okay, are really, 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 really good because they allow the other person on the other side to hear your voice. And if you're like really excited and like pumped up and like, that's what people want to hear. If you're like, I'm doing this thing and it's so far, like, it's pretty good. Products are pretty good. And I was just wondering if maybe you'd be interested in hearing more. I don't know about you, but I probably won't be responding to that message. The other thing that's really important, and this just happened to me today, someone reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to join their network marketing team. I'm not going to mention what company. And this is very important for you guys to know. If this happens to you, I want you to respond in a very classy, professional way. I don't want you to be like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't have a business Arbonne, didn't you see? I want you to respond by saying, because this is what happens to the network marketing industry, is that we have to get really good at looking at someone's profile and doing a little bit of reading before we ask someone or build the relationship with someone about our business. Because this person clearly didn't see, don't know how, that I am an ERVP with Arbonne. Okay. Like I have Arbonne in my like stories, in my feed, in my posts, like it's there. So like she clearly just didn't see any of it. So that shows me that she doesn't really care about me. She's just asking me to join her team. And that really doesn't sit well with me. So please, guys, before you're doing your asks, take a look at the person's profile first and just get an idea. Because if they're already an ENVP with a company or whatever, they don't all call, like some people don't know what that even means, but a VP in another company, they're probably not going to join your Arbonne team. Just saying. Not to say that you can't add them as a friend and like and comment and build relationships with those people. Absolutely. Go ahead. Because maybe one day they will buy some products. If they're with Zaya and they have workout clothes, maybe they'd like love our protein. So don't like say no to those people, but just do your research to make sure that they're not like with another company really high up, because that's a little embarrassing. But we also just want to not have those conversations going forward with people and having those kind of reach outs happening, because that's what gives network marketing industry a really bad rap. So we really want to have to work on that. Okay, I digress. I do that a lot. Okay, sometimes you have to follow up with people like 10 times, like 10 touches. I know that sounds kind of weird, but before someone actually opens up and is like, you know what, now's the time, and I think I'm ready to hear more about Arbonne. So you don't just reach out to someone once and be like, hey, that's it, I'm good. Like that was it, I did my ask. No, it's like you have to follow up with them, because everyone's season of life changes. And God forbid, in a year's time from now, Karen could have lost her job or has a sick child or is sick herself, and she all of a sudden now needs Arbonne as a vehicle to like pay for bills that she didn't know she was going to have. So it's really important to touch base with people. Okay, voice memos, like I said, are really important. If you're feeling great and in a rhythm, like do a lot of reach outs, like do 10 if you're feeling really good. If you're like, okay, like I'm in a rhythm, and don't like stop and answer people when you're doing your asks, just keep going, because like you don't want to, like the outcome doesn't matter. No copying, pasting. Okay. We're not copying, pasting kind of company. You don't like say like, hey girl, just wondering if you wanted to, like, we don't do that. Okay. Just be super authentic. And always say when you're doing your reach out or your whatever you want to call it, no pressure or obligation. So I always say to someone like, this may or may not be a fit for you. And that is 100% okay. But and there's like no pressure or obligation. But I felt this tug on my heart to reach out to you and ask you if you would be at all interested in hearing about Arbonne. And then I always leave an open-ended question at the end. So you always just say like, would you be open to hearing more about Arbonne? Because then it's like they have to respond. So it's just a tip. So this is a good quote for being consistent. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to fly through this. Apps to utilize, you guys can screenshot this. Lightroom CC, it helps make your like squares on your Instagram look really pretty. There's presets you can download. And then for creating flyers, WordSwag and Canva are really, really good. This is what I was talking about with the description from Arbonne. So the Shop Arbonne app, you can actually just screenshot this and post it on your story with like the protein shake that you're posting. And it's a really good way of just like quoting Arbonne's words, right? And not making up our own. So these are disclaimers. Screenshot this, please. Save it to your notes because you're going to use it. And this is going to save you if you are posting about the Mercedes, a trip, gifts you've received. You have to make sure that you're posting these disclaimers because someone could just screenshot your lovely, I don't know, whatever, Tiffany's bracelet you get as area manager or your Mercedes-Benz post without this disclaimer, you could get into some trouble. And I don't want to scare anyone. Just make sure you're posting the disclaimer. And if you have a question, if you're like, I don't really know if this needs a disclaimer, slap it on the bottom anyways. Just make it really small and put it there. And it just covers you, right? This is just something that I do. If you have something to say on Instagram, like via story, like you just want to like, I don't know, do a poll, but you don't have any background to put it on. I go to Pinterest and I screenshot these backgrounds and then I just like write on top of them. So I just have like a bank on my phone of like wallpaper backgrounds, so I just think that's like a good tip to give. Here's your compliance piece. I know I didn't talk a lot about it, but I definitely wanted to refer you guys to some resources because there's so much stuff you can learn. And Arbonne has something called BEST, and it's the Business Ethics and Sustainability Team. And basically what that is they just ensure that we're following compliance, following rules, making sure that we're not posting things we shouldn't post. And so you can go there. It's on the source. You can follow them on Facebook. All the information's here. So I'll let you guys kind of review that and you can screenshot this too if you'd like. And then I was on one of the VP calls not too long ago, and one of the social media experts, I can't remember her name now, she came on. I think it was Helena that brought her, like she introduced her, and she was just telling us, so I wanted to show you guys this. She was just telling us a little bit about social media and Arbonne. And so this, you guys can just read this, but basically it was just saying how engaged, like our engagement is on Facebook and social media or Instagram and like Twitter, if you have Twitter. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. And then for 2021, they just gave us a few pieces of information about what they're going to refocus on going forward. So I thought that was kind of interesting. They want to diversify the type of content. They want to consider MVP highlight stories more, and they want to start posting more Canadian content. So I thought that was really good. And then if you ever see or have someone like doing a fake report account, like your account, for example, or your like whatever, so like Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you can report those. So these are the ways that you can report that to BEST. And then that's it, you guys. You didn't wake up to me mediocre. And you know what? The last thing I want to say is if you can like encourage sideline support and tag other people, like that's awesome, you guys. So like just because you're not in someone's team, you can still, I'm going to stop the share here. You can still like tag your sidelines and be like this, like the Glow Club started and like, here's my girls, like they're doing it with me, and like see a greens, send a greens, whatever that is, like engage with like all the sidelines, because that's how you build relationships with people other than your success line, which I think is really important. So I haven't checked the chat at all. Does anyone have any questions, or that's it? That's all I got. I'm going to stop the recording.